Frank Odum, Dr. Musa Suleimana, and Professor Aziz Abdurrahman as co-researchers on this project. It is a great honor to present this policy paper on behalf of the Advisory Board, management, and researchers of the Africa Center for Retirement Research. It is also a privilege to have a room full of important stakeholders, policymakers, international development partners, and multilateral who have special interests in the social and economic well-being of vulnerable groups in our country. The vulnerable groups include old age pensioners, persons with disabilities, less educated workers, women and children, especially widows and orphans. Social Security is the biggest social intervention program in any country and has a big say in fighting poverty, bridging socioeconomic inequalities, and building an all-inclusive society and sustainability for better lives. Indeed, these are three important United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that are closely related in terms of impact and outcomes. We're talking about Goal 1, Goal 8, and Goal 10. Minimizing inequalities of all forms is relevant to poverty prevention and strengthening social cohesion. Talking about a case where we leave no one behind and just pursuing oneness of the world. It is, however, sad that we live in a world where the top 10% richest people own 52% of global income, while the bottom poor owns 8.5%. The picture is even worse in sub-Saharan Africa, where the top 10% richest people have captured and own a gargantuan 55% of national income, as compared to just 8.3% for the poor half down there in the African continent. You would agree with me that this is not acceptable, especially for a world and a continent that is committed to fighting poverty, social and economic injustices. And indeed, 65% of the world population live in countries where inequalities are on the rise with commensurate increments in poverty levels. It is established that the happy peoples live in countries where inequalities are constantly put in check and kept at the barest minimum. What is the inequality situation like in Ghana? Considerable economic disparities exist between the active working class and the retired population, but inequalities among retirees presents a bigger problem. According to the Ghana Statistical Service Inequality Report, any inequalities among Ghanaian workers are large, depending on the sector and type of work. The variations in earnings during the active service translate into old age pension income inequalities. Income disparities among Ghanaian retirees can be seen as a major development challenge. We need strong redistributive policy measures to close the income gaps among retirees, and this can be achieved through the social security structure and its provisions. On the flip side, however, social security financing worldwide has come under extensive strain, and this is attributable to considerable changes in demography and economic crisis more recently. The last three actuarial valuations of the SSNIT scheme have given a strong indication that the scheme's medium to long-term financial sustainability is in doubt. This has been attributed to considerable changes in demography and economy, coupled with the impact of structural pension reforms in 2008. The Africa Center for Retirement Research has been analyzing the demographic and financial trends of the last three actuarial valuation reports of the SSNIT scheme. The scheme's liabilities, we're talking about expenditure on benefits and administrative costs, are closing up with revenues, that is talking about contribution plus investment incomes. The proportion of income used for expenditure increased from 37% in 2014 to 65% in 2017, and then to 79% in 2020. The excess revenue over expenditure has declined from 4 billion in 2014 to 2.4 billion in 2017, and then to just 0.76 billion in 2020. This have reflected the declining growth rates of the reserves. The reserves increased by 32% between 2014 and 2017, and just by 8% between 2018 and 2020, and could be lower between 2021 and 2023. At this point, as stakeholders, we now know we have a two-edged problem whose solution requires innovation and deliberate policy measures to improve benefit distribution and sustainable benefit financing. And that is exactly what we'll be looking at today.
JYTV News. Keep watching JYTV every